The moment has come. There will be obstacles that you must face.
At the perfect time, you're gonna see elevation in your life.
I'm coming after everything you said I couldn't have. The number one thing you have to do is make up your mind that you are no longer going to live in the pain of the past. Your reality of me is that I'm not quick enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not linear enough. This is your reality. My reality of me is that all I have is all I need.
And for each obstacle, it will represent something about you. Your greatest victories, your greatest failures. You must rise above it. And you must conquer every obstacle that comes your way.
Anytime it got hard, especially in basketball, I just say, hey, keep going, keep going, keep going, don't stop.
I will not allow worry or fear to sabotage this moment.
Give yourself some time off, you know? Like don't even crush yourself to the point where you can't do it. Make it so that you really appreciate those Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're gonna get after it, and this is what you're gonna do.
Sometimes your timeline is off. True success, true greatness takes time. Because when you let something takes time, then you can handle it.
Imagination encircles the world.
Fantasy is not nothing.
People who dream and those people who dream big have a different kind of life than the people who don't dream.
I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now. I have too much on the line. I have too many people depending on me to win. I must stay hungry.
They don't know your heart. Choose it because you want it. Do it because you want to. It's on you. It's on you.
What the Relentless system does, it's a mindset. Before you have an exceptional skill set, okay, you have to have the right mindset.
The fighter jet mentality is that someone who is just determined, relentlessly obsessed in achieving an outcome in the face of all adversity.
I've always had this relentless mentality, and if you say I can't do something, if I fail, if I mess up, it just motivates me even more. I just become even more hungry.
You've got to start with that belief in your mind. I've got this. I can do this. I can conquer this.
The relentless are unstoppable.
I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. You gotta put yourself in that cage. I switched my mind to something else. I switched my mode into something else. It's go time.
But the difference between me and most people is you might be sweeter than me. You might be bigger than me. You might grind. Listen to me, I don't know. You might have money. I don't know where you come from, but you will not outwork me.
But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me. Don't talk to me.
All in, emotionally and executionally, in theory and strategy and in execution.
If you want something, you have got to be relentless.
When you're sitting there, you're trying to sell your product, you're making phone calls, you're giving a lecture, whatever it may be, you're driving a bus, you're a doctor, whatever it may be, the stronger your mindset is, the greater your skill set is going to be.
Make a declaration to yourself. Declare all-out war. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it?
They start their school on Monday morning watching me. They ain't got a daddy. Their daddy in jail. They don't have a brother. Their brother's in jail. They all I got. You don't understand. My son's at Michigan State, and I pay for it cash. My daughter wants to go to Harvard. You don't get it. My sister just had a baby, and she ain't making no money. A game. All I got is an A game. I ain't got a B game. I ain't got a C game. When I finish, people are relying on me. Some of y'all, when you get on the field, you forgot what it was like when you was hustling in high school playing ball, when you were in college hustling to get to this point.
If you want something, you've got to be relentless. You've got to decide, I deserve this, and I'm going to have it. And you go all out to get it.
The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
Discipline is a foundation to life.
Don't say you can't. Don't say this is going to happen. Don't quantify it and say, well, if I show up, this better happen. Just show up and put the work in.
That's it. Get up early, do some kind of workout, eat good foods, clean your room, make a list of things that you're supposed to do in your life, and then wake up in the morning and do those things. That's what discipline is.
Discipline, focus, practice, suffering, push, and then all of a sudden, you get better and better and better.
So be careful that your routine is pointing to where you're trying to get to, and you're not wasting time. So I'm looking at Warren Buffett. He says he reads 6 hours a day.
It's not a complicated process, but it definitely requires discipline. It requires insulating yourself from popular opinion. You simply can't pay any attention to it. It just doesn't mean anything.
So you gotta have a goal. You gotta have a dream. You gotta get hungry. And then you gotta get real disciplined. Because motivation will get you going. A speech will get you fired up. But discipline is going to give you the power to stay committed to whatever that goal is.
You need to make the most out of every situation, which means you need to discipline your mind. Stop making excuses. Get after it where you are right now and repeat after me. I am in control of my destiny. Find that self-discipline and stop making excuses and stop depending on other people to bail you out.
You've got more fight in you. You've got more strength in you. You've got more wisdom in you. There is no time for excuses.
And most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful. It's hard to kill the human spirit.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now.
It's the disciplined, desperate, dangerous mentality.
And I don't care who you are, I don't care where you come from, I don't care what your story is. At the end of the day, you can win if you choose to learn the things that you need to do and then can do them.
Not time to be partying no more. Now it's time to create a legacy now. You had your fun. Now get to work. Now build a legacy.
Because if you're not disciplined, then there's no business that can be done.
You want to be more disciplined? Get after it.
You've been an underdog in your relationships. If you've been an underdog in the weight room, if you've been an underdog in life, if you've been an underdog financially, I'm talking to that person who grew up without a father. I'm talking to that person who grew up without a mother. I'm talking to that person who didn't grow up with handouts. I'm talking to that person who maybe if you did grow up with a little bit of handouts, but maybe you were misunderstood and you were overlooked and you were undervalued and you were mishandled and misguided.
You got a dream to buy a house. You got a dream for better relationships. You got a dream to win a fight. You got a dream to get your family out of the hood. You got a dream to lose weight. I mean, whatever that dream is, whatever you have, that goal, that improbable feat, once you get it set, once you smell that, once you get a feel for it, a taste of it, and the underdog is an individual who refuses to live in the dark. They refuse to remain in obscurity. They refuse to live in stress and overwhelm and anxiety. They are somebody who is tired. Like when you come to the end of yourself, you got to get tired. Like you have to get tired. Something inside of you has to snap. You got to get tired of being broke. When you get tired of being coined the loser, being coined not enough, being overlooked and undervalued and underpaid, you got to get tired of that. When you get tired, that's when you win.
The underdog is a person that comes out on the playing field and says, okay, I've been in this place of pain my whole life. I've gone without for so long. This is the day you make up in your mind where I will take the throne. I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing. And so you literally have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's in your head is a dream. The only thing that's in your head is I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill. Because I am not the wolf on the hill. I am the wolf climbing the hill. I have nothing to lose.
Counted out, overlooked, undervalued, misguided, betrayed. Somebody who has been really dishonored, disrespected. Somebody who has lost everything, who people stop believing in, is a very desperate person. They're climbing a hill. They're trying to achieve a dream. And when you are desperate, you are very dangerous. And a dangerous man or woman is somebody who is a disruptor. They don't play by the rules. They are coming for blood. They are coming for blood.
Your story is not your fortress. Your story is your fuel. When you doubt the underdog, it's like music to his ears. Tell me I'm not good enough. Tell me I'm not strong enough. Tell me I won't finish. There is this intrinsic emotion, this instinct. You have just awakened the lion in me because they said you can't do it. They said you don't have what it takes to make the investments. They said you don't have what it takes to lose the weight. They say you don't have what it takes to hang on to your marriage. Everybody has been counted out. Everybody has been doubted. The underdog is not a person who doesn't feel pain, doubt, and fear. The underdog is a person that turns that pain, that doubt, that fear into their fuel. If you came from a place where you had nothing, that's everything that you need.
There are going to be times that you're going to just struggle and you're going to be tired and you're going to be weary and you're going to want to quit and you ain't going to have nothing left. But you still got to carry on. Live your life, ladies and gentlemen. Be excited about life. Regardless of the struggles, regardless of the circumstances, get excited about being above ground and not under it. Walk with your head up high and live your life. How many of you have been in a competition where you pushed yourself and you worked so hard and you pushed everything you had within you, and then you got so close to the finish line, your legs gave out? You didn't have nothing else left in your legs. You couldn't run a little bit further. You couldn't pedal that bike a little bit faster because you had nothing else left. That's when the grinder must come out. That's when you got to dig a little bit deeper. That's when you got to go after it a little bit harder than you've ever done in your life. So you always find yourself starting off on the right path. You start off, you're feeling good, you're running, you're doing everything that you need to do. But it starts to get harder. Things starting to push you back. Life starts to push you back. People start to push you back. Everything around you starts to crumble. You have nothing else left to give. But then you got to find something else. You got to turn on that grind switch. You got to get down and dirty and nasty if you got to. You got to do what necessarily is going to take for you to get what you want. And you got to go out there with everything you got. For every moment that you have, this is the chance to do it. Just keep on grinding.
The moment has come, and there will be obstacles that you must face. And for each obstacle, it will represent something about you. Your greatest victories, your greatest failures. But nevertheless, you must rise above it and you must conquer every obstacle that comes your way. Are you strong enough? Are you willing enough? Do you have what it takes to do what's necessary to adapt and overcome? This is the moment that every living person that is at the start line is ready to cross the finish line. Along this journey, you will be pushed, you will be knocked down, but you don't stay down. You must rise up, you must carry on, you must dig deep, you must fight forward. You are not done yet, you carry on. The journey must carry on. You fight to the end. If you feel weak, find a way to rise up. If you feel you can't carry on, then you must find another way to push on. If you get knocked down, then you crawl. If you can't crawl, then you roll. You don't stop, you push up.
Your mind has to seek discomfort. It has to seek these difficult tasks. You have to enjoy it. And you have to figure out a way to make your mind enjoy those things. And some people it comes easy and some people it doesn't. Some people it takes a long time. I always tell people the best thing you could ever do is force yourself to a schedule. Just write it down. Like today I have to do an hour on the treadmill. I have to do an hour, no matter what. Even if you're walking on it, you're doing an hour on a treadmill. The next time you're going to do it, just okay, you did an hour and this is the amount of miles you got in. Next time you're going to, add 3 miles. Put an extra 3 miles in that 1 hour. And just keep doing things like that. Write down, today I'm going to do 100 push-ups, and I'm going to do 100 sit-ups, and I'm going to do 100 chin-ups. That's today. And then force yourself. Force yourself to adhere to a schedule. Make a Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout schedule. Give yourself some time off, Like don't even crush yourself to the point where you can't do it. Make it so that you really appreciate those Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're going to get after it, and this is what you're going to do. Most people just try to go work out, and you're kind of aimless, and you show up, and you pick up the jump rope, and you jump a little rope, maybe you hit the heavy bag a little bit, maybe you do some curls, but you don't really have an aim. That's why people like to hire trainers, because a trainer will tell you what to do. Well, you can tell yourself what to do. If you don't have money for a trainer, you don't even have to have fucking equipment. With bodyweight squats, sit-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, you could give yourself a brutal full bodyweight workout. And you can find these for free on YouTube. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of these bodyweight workouts you could do. Just force yourself, write it down. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm gonna do 100 push-ups, I'm gonna do 100 chin-ups, I'm gonna do 100 sit-ups. Even if it takes me all fucking day. Even if I have to do 10 and 10 and 10 and keep going all day, just that's what you do. Do 10 push-ups, take a break for 20 minutes, do another 10. But get those 100 in. I don't believe in half-assing things. This life is short, If you get into something, get into it. And if you're not into it, don't be into it. And I think that insanity and greatness are next-door neighbors, and they borrow each other's sugar. That's my, that's what I've always said. There's something about mastery, like true mastery, that requires you to shut off massive areas of your life. There's a lot of people that are scared of their ability to do something that's difficult. I don't know if I could force myself to be disciplined. I don't know if I could force myself to take that kind of action. Well, if you do force yourself to take that kind of action, you don't have that question anymore. That question, I don't know if I can do it. Well, you're doing it. So you obviously can do it. Can you do it tomorrow? You did it today. Or can you do it tomorrow? Just do it. You get so much more benefit out of a struggle that you choose to embark in versus a struggle that life throws upon you. Get out there and go and do something. Just go. And then in the middle of doing it, it'll become easy. Even if it's not easy, even if it's hard, it's easier than not doing it and wishing that you had done it.
Legacy. There's power in your name. Power in your name. McDonald's is a last name. Abercrombie and Fitch, last names. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins is a last name. Chrysler is a last name. Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, Hilton, Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name, Maybach is a last name, Nordstrom is a last name, Pillsbury is a last name, Porsche is a last name, Procter & Gamble, 2 last names, Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls Henry Royce, last names, Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name, Versace, last name, Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name, Walgreens, last name, Wrigley's, last name, Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, you're saying, look at this family. And what you don't know is while you making every family rich, you making yourself broke. So you done went to one family called Wells Fargo and got $200,000 so you can go to another family called Rolls Royce so you can give them money to get yourself a car so you can go back to the hood and see the Joneses and say, look at what I got. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo, their family's sitting up being rich, and Harley Davidsons and Rolls Royce are being rich, and the Joneses are sitting there holding up people's stuff saying, look at what we did and we broke. What if I told you that your blessing is attached to your name? That part of the reason why you're not wealthy yet is because you keep trying to make Yolanda wealthy. You keep trying to make Tasha wealthy. What if you made Johnson's wealthy? What if you started thinking about your kids? What if you started thinking about your legacy? What if God started dropping Canaan and opening up windows of heaven? Because now you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking kingdom. There are some people who are attached to you who say, Mama, can you do something with this name? There's some people who are saying, Dad, can you do something with this name? Maybe God gave you the name to change and reverse some of the stuff that the name meant one day. I wish there was somebody in this room that said my name might mean one thing right now, but I promise after today, this name's getting ready to change. I promise after today, everybody's gonna want my last name. I'm here to let you know you are a curse breaker. You're thinking kingdom. You are not just getting married, you're breaking a curse. You are not just graduating from college, you're breaking a curse. You are not just getting out of high school, you're breaking a curse. You are not just saved, you're breaking a curse. And everybody around you is about to be blessed because of what God's getting ready to do in your life. I don't know what my name meant before I got here, but I know it's gonna mean before I leave. You got a legacy. Power in your name.
Here's the deal. If you get to the top of the tree, all the fruit from the bottom at the top is gonna be there, son. So I don't need you focusing on cars and money and stuff. You're gonna get that. I need you to focus on why you were born in the first place. Why are you here on earth for this particular time? What are you doing here? Need to tell you that you owe you something. I don't want nothing from you but for you to leave this room and know what you want. What do you want in your marriage? What do you want with your son and your daughter? What do you want in your health? What do you want financially? Like, how much money do you want to make a year? What do you want to drive? How do you want to live? Stop just waking up like an accident. What do you want? And then once you find out what you want, spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after it. The reason why I speak with so much passion, E.T., why do you speak with so much authority? Because I'm talking about my life, not something that I read. I ate out of trash cans. You ain't got to start with the two-parent background. You ain't got to start with wealth. You ain't got to start with your parents graduated. It's not the hand that you dealt. You got rich kids who own drugs. You got rich kids who committed suicide. You got rich kids who don't know their purpose in life. It's not the hand that you was dealt, baby. It's how you play your hand. Every opportunity is the last opportunity. Every opportunity I have to reprove myself again. Every opportunity I'm still nervous. E.T., you've been doing this for years. Why are you so nervous? Because the day you become content, the day you stop evaluating yourself, the day you stop growing, the day you stop getting better is the day you die. Is the day the person who's trying to catch you will get you. And I ain't where I want to be. And I'm like, God, I ain't where I want to be. And he was like, you stop being a victim. I said, what you mean a victim? Well, it ain't my fault my mom got pregnant at 17. It ain't my fault my daddy wasn't there. It ain't my fault they couldn't get along. It ain't my fault. He said, boy, you grown. You ain't 10 no more. The decisions you make right now is up to you. You crying about something that happened to you when you was a kid. You ain't even no kid no more. You a grown man. Take full ownership. The stupid stuff you doing, your parents didn't make you play no video games. What you crying about? So what, your daddy wasn't there? Your mama ended up getting married. What you crying about? He went to work every day. He never beat you. He never abused you. Your mama did the best she knew how to do. What you crying about? You grew up in a house. What you crying about? You've been lazy your whole life, and now somebody told you you can make 6 figures, and you go knock on the door 100 times, and your body say you a lie. You ain't never gave 100%. And in order to knock on the door 100 times, you're gonna have to get 120. Get up out of here. You can't do this. And you're gonna have to fight and fight and fight and fight. And most of you won't be successful, not because you can't do it, but you can't outlast your old you long enough to get to your new. Every day when I wake up, I got all kind of demands. You got all kind of demands. And the reason why you're not where you want to be is not because you're not great, but you taking all other people's stuff before you spend enough time with yourself to get to know you and get to know what you want and what you should do. And so please raise your hand with me if you're saying, E, from this day forward, I make a commitment to myself in a way I've never made a commitment to myself before. Let me see your hands. I said, I'm gonna grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim.
For many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but it was still a kid with a dream and a belief in himself.
I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved.
We have money, we have everything, we have fame. But the most important thing is the family. Keep your family healthy, good, and take care of your family, because this is the most important thing in the world.
Failing to prepare was preparing to fail. The night before a game, I ate the same food. I went to bed at the same time. I got up, I ate the same breakfast. Some people call it superstition, but it's a routine.
I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope.
Because you might be actually not feeling great physically or mentally, you're drained, but the confidence somehow gets you through. And when you don't have confidence, that's then when you have to sort of trust all the hard work you've done, and you have to keep on working hard so success comes back.
I make mistakes, but I strive every day to be a perfectionist.
Set yourself a definite goal and work hard toward that goal, and don't let anything or anyone stop you in the process, no matter what it is.
I didn't really care about the standings or, the perception of my style or whatever, as long as I could keep learning these new tricks. And so as I was successful in competition and winning a lot of the events, my job was just to keep getting better.
All of you, I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
People perform better when there's no safety net. People perform better in sports and everything else if you don't have a plan B.
We were down 1-0, and if you walked into our locker room at halftime, you thought we were up 3-0.
Nothing external can defeat the internal. The only thing that can take someone down or break you down is internal. Nothing external is strong enough.
You just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence.
I'm not going to go out and say I'm the greatest this or that. I was a kid with a dream. That's it.
You have to fail in order to climb that ladder.
You are fighting the greatest fight of all times.
And I fought because I knew it was not doomed to be a losing fight. It couldn't be a losing fight.
As long as you believe in what you're doing and you're doing things you love to do, then you can go out there and be the best at it. And that's that should give you a lot of enjoyment, fulfillment in your life.
Always keep an open mind that there's something out there for each and every one of you. And it's up to you to go out there and find your niche.
You learn just to stick with it. I mean, there's lots of days where
you don't really feel like doing it, or you don't feel like grinding it out, and you got to do it. You know, those are the highs and lows of being an athlete, and if you want to feel those highs, you got to go through those lows every now and then.
This time when you run and you just want to stop, you just want to give up, like, to hell with this, I just want to go home. This day when you get up and you know what, you have a training today, you know it's going to be intense, and you're like, oh God, I don't want to go today, but you got to go.
When you play sports and you're committed to something, the commitment, the responsibility of showing up to practice on time, to being there for your teammates, to listening to your coaches, it's a responsibility that you have when you're playing with a group, that you have to hold your end of the bargain.
When you have to make a putt, you make a putt. You have to hit the shot, you hit the shot. You just sort of like drop into another zone and you block out everything.
Sometimes the will can outdo the skill. And sometimes a fella's will is stronger than the man who's actually better physically, and the determination weakens the other man just to see him so determined.
I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game.
I am the greatest.
Hard f***ing work. You put it in, you believe in it, you will succeed.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you become better at your craft.
Some of the best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable.
You just have to stay calm because it's not finished to the last point, no matter how close you get. I've been working so hard all my life to be here, and I was determined to get this.
You gotta start from way down the bottom. You gotta let it grow up with you. And if you're successful and you tried hard enough, you're bound to come out on top. Just like these boys have come to the top now.
Mentally, we have a vision, we have a finish that we have to attain, and sometimes you have to do it when you're old and you're tired, and I think it's the test of your will to succeed.
I'm gonna grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim.
Let me tell you this, the wolf that is on the hill is never as hungry as the wolf that is climbing the hill. And so you gotta get hungry and you have to stay hungry. You have to guard your hunger. I need you to develop a healthy dose of self-assurance. When you feel like you can't, when you want to let go, when you are surrounded by doubt, fear, and anxiety, you are going to have to pull up your resume and remember all of the things that you have made it through.
There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse.
What do you want? Somebody told you to just graduate high school, graduate college, get a job, work that job the rest of your life, have kids, get married, and die. Somebody told you that. What do you believe you were destined to do? And then you gotta spend every single solitary day for the rest of your life going after that dream. What do you have to have? What is your dream? And when you think there's nothing left in the tank, look yourself in the eyes and say, I can, I will, I must. The nightmare is to reach our 60s, our 70s, our 80s, or even our deathbed, and to talk about everything we should have done. I should have done that. I should have invested in this. I should have made the relationship work. I shouldn't have got a divorce. We sit around and talk about all of our shoulds. We talk about all the things we wanted to do, but never got it done. That's the nightmare. That's the nightmare that we all must avoid. This is the time to establish your dream. All of the pain, all of the trauma, everything you have experienced, the turbulence, you have to garner up all of that hunger. I'm talking about, you gotta think of everything you've ever wanted in your life, and you gotta put it toward that goal. And there are things that you have been called to do that no one on earth has ever done.
When you are depressed, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to be bothered with anyone. But overcoming depression is going to require that you get up and engage with life again. When you are feeling down, the worst thing you can do is isolate yourself, because isolation actually intensifies sadness. So I recommend finding a distraction that will shift your energy. Beginning in my early 20s, I began to notice some of the symptoms of mild depression. For years, I struggled with worry, anxiety, and feelings of hopelessness. Whenever I experienced a minor setback, I would be hard on myself and I would become extremely discouraged. For some reason, it was hard for me to believe that I could get through difficult situations. I know from personal experience that depression has a way of transforming a typically happy and outgoing person into someone who is sad, withdrawn, and frustrated with life. But my background and my expertise didn't stop me from encountering my own dark moments that even my family and close friends knew nothing about. And I didn't just feel down every now and then. I went through depression. I went through a persistent feeling of sadness and hopelessness. I lost interest in many of the things that I previously enjoyed, and I honestly felt like my family and friends would be better off without me. I felt like a failure. I felt insufficient. I felt like I couldn't take life anymore. And so I know what it feels like to not want to get out of bed. I know what it feels like to experience deep and distressing hurt that seems impossible to push through. I had pretended to be happy for so long that no one would have believed me if I told them that I was struggling with depression. But now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm glad I didn't forfeit all that I've been able to experience and accomplish. So while you might feel discouraged, you don't have to be discouraged, because brighter days are coming. Because I always felt alone in my battle, I didn't realize just how common depression was. I had no idea that 1 out of 10 people will experience depression during their lifetime. Do me a favor. Check on the people who are close to you. In most instances, the people who appear happy and appear strong are rarely asked how they are doing, because people assume their lives are perfect. You may not have considered this, but sometimes the person who is smiling every time you see them is privately battling depression. And so the first step in overcoming depression is acknowledging that something must change. You cannot fix what you do not face. Suppression, denial, and pretending that everything is okay is not going to help you feel better. Yes, you can fool everyone else, but you can't fool yourself. You can't fool the person in the mirror, the person that you look at every single day. And I get it. When you appear to have it all together, it's not easy to let your guard down and say, hey, I'm struggling. I remember wondering how it was that I could lift everyone else up, but when it came to my own situation, I felt hopeless. But my situation began to improve only when I had the courage to confront the fact that I was not as happy as I appeared to be. I was suppressing the wound of rejection. I was suppressing childhood trauma, and I was harboring anger. So let me say this: uprooting anger and bitterness is not an easy thing to do. But at the end of the day, holding on to it does impact your physical, emotional, and mental health. So I say today, let it go. Let it go. I knew that I could no longer hold on to the anger that I was harboring because it was literally stealing my joy. And so today, I say I want you to set yourself free. Set yourself free from the emotional turmoil that has been disrupting your peace. So after finally overcoming depression, I promised myself that I would put in the work necessary to experience authentic happiness. Not happiness based upon my circumstances, but happiness based upon a personal decision. And so now I'm mindful of when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I need to take a mental break, or when I need to utilize my support system. I'm challenging you to refuse to succumb to the negative thoughts that attempt to make you feel like your life will never get better. Remind yourself that you deserve to be happy and that your life will get better. When you are depressed, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to be bothered with anyone. So I recommend finding a distraction that will shift your energy. You could turn on some uplifting music, watch an inspirational video, go for a walk, or call someone who will make you laugh. The key to feeling better is doing the exact opposite of what you feel like doing. You've got to get up. You've got to connect with others, especially when you don't feel like it. You have to find ways to avoid sinking because despair diminishes your productivity. In most instances, anxiety stems from a past experience or an anticipation of a negative experience. When you feel anxiety trying to creep in, you have to shift your focus from "this is not fair" or "why am I having to deal with this" to "I may not be feeling my best right now, but I will not allow worry or fear to sabotage the gift of this moment." Though it may feel natural to allow your mind to wander into worry and despair, you actually reinforce negative thinking by not challenging it. Your thoughts are impressions. They are not your identity. So be mindful of your thought patterns and interrupt them before they get out of control. Overcoming depression and committing to happiness takes work, but it is not impossible. Yes, mistakes happen, but making a mistake does not mean that you are a failure. Overcoming depression is not an overnight process. It takes work. For some, happiness comes easy, but for most of us, happiness requires intention. Are you willing to fight for your happiness? It is my hope that joy and peace will track you down and give you the endurance you need to keep pushing. You may not be where you want to be right now, but you are still here. You are still standing, and you still have an opportunity to create a new path.
This is the inner symphony of greatness, the epic soundtrack of success. You don't need to see with your eyes to achieve greatness. You only need to hear and follow her voice. And that voice is crying out from the weight room, the track, the practice court, the field. And it is waiting on you. You have to learn how to keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding, even when you don't see any results. Just because you don't see any immediate gains doesn't mean you ain't making progress. So you gotta learn how to go beyond the limits of your feelings, going beyond what your eyes don't see, and go all in to pursue what could be. Stop scoreboard watching and trust in the process, the principles, and the habits that actually put points on that scoreboard. I was born a champion. It's you versus you. So you gotta find a why that makes you invincible, that you can run through walls with it. Dangerous is the man that understands his only enemy is the one that he sees in the mirror. No limits, no boundaries, no restrictions. Dare to dream and sense the presence of a warrior who's got greatness on his mind. Rise, champion. Every time they mention my name, they will say champion, because I am a champion. Every day that I get up, I say good morning, champion. When I look in the mirror, I see a champion. When I go to the gym, I work out like a champion. When I eat like a champion. The stuff I put in my mind is champion, because all day I am a champion. From sunrise to sundown, from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them, I am a champion. You must learn how to keep going, keep pushing, and keep grinding, even when you don't see any results. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. No more excuses. I'm Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. 1 billion people, to God be the glory.
We used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars.
I want to skip the flattery and the attaboys, because I do know this. The sooner that we become less impressed with our life, with our accomplishments, with our career, with whatever that prospect is in front of us, the sooner we become less impressed and more involved with that and these things, the sooner we get a whole lot better at doing them.
It's like we've forgotten who we are now. Explorers, pioneers, not caretakers.
Now, why do you pursue things that scare you? Why seek the role that's hard?
Because it costs me something. Because it costs. It comes with a price. It's not really a risk unless you can lose the fight. I feel more alive in them. I have an experience in the making of them. I'm nervous every day I come to work.
There are things you can get away with in this world, and there are things you can't.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
I feel like when I nail a day and I knock it and I know I did, I feel like, yes. I have a measure at the end of the day of like, you set out to do something, you prepared for it, you had intention, and you did it. That gives me gratification. That makes me feel, gives me significance. That gives me confidence.
So be brave, have courage, and when you do, you get stronger, you get more aware, you get more respectful of yourself and that which you fear.
I want to talk about our opponent this afternoon. They're bigger, faster, stronger, more experienced. And on paper, they're just better. And they know it too. But I want to tell you something that they don't know. They don't know your heart.
What, because heading out there is what I feel like I was born to do? And it excites me.
Just because you can? Nah, come on. it's not a good enough reason to do something. Even when it means having more. Be discerning. Choose it because you want it. Do it because you want to. It's on you. It's on you.
I can get through this. I will get through this. I must get through this. The days you're not plugged in are the days you don't get 120.
I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now. I have too much on the line. I have too many people depending on me to win. I must stay hungry.
You want to kill an alligator? You kill it right after it eats. Because right after it eats, it gets satisfied. And it goes to a state like it's almost paralyzed. Some of y'all in this room, when you paralyzed, you had a little success. You're done what nobody else in your family has done, and now you chilling. Come on, you ain't hungry no more? Next 100, I need you to stay focused. Why? You should still be hungry. What have you eaten that's got you satisfied? What have you done? What have you accomplished that got you so full? I'm a contender, but the next 100 gonna change my life. It's gonna change this world. We're ordinary people doing extraordinary things. If that's you and you feeling me, just say I can. Come on, I can. I can. Come on, one more time. Yep, I will. Yep, I must. All right.
You study any animal in the animal kingdom, and I will tell you this, that the lion is king because the lion is hungry. The elephant is bigger than the lion, but the cheetah is faster than the lion. But nobody is more hungry than the lion. Go ask any athlete, actor, musician, philanthropist, it doesn't matter. You ask anybody who is a champion, and the difference between them and their opponent is they were more hungry for it. If there's anything I can pour from my heart in this moment, my greatest piece of advice is to protect your hunger.
I hate Plan B. When you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now what you're basically saying is that if my plan doesn't work, I have a fallback plan, I have a plan B. And that means that you start thinking about plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, you're taking away now that thought and that energy from plan A. And it's very important to understand that we function better if there is no safety net, because plan B becomes a safety net. It says that if I fail, then I fall and I get picked up and I have something else there that will protect me. And that's not good, because people perform better when there's no safety net. People perform better in sports and everything else if you don't have a plan B. I'm telling you, I've never ever had a plan B. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding champion. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna be in America. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna get into show business and I'm going to be a leading man. No matter what it takes, I will do the work. I will do the work over and over and over until I get it. And the same was in politics and everything like that. So to me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B, because you're cutting yourself off from the chance of really succeeding. And the reason, one of the main reasons why people want to have a plan B is because they are worried about failing. What is if I fail, then I don't have anything else? Well, let me tell you something, don't be afraid of failing, because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail. Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times." And he says, "Well, you're just mentioning the successes." But he says, "For me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots when I was playing basketball at the NBA games." So during these games, that he was so successful, he missed 9,000 shots. Does it make him a failure? No. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all times, but he failed 9,000 times. Do you get it? We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner. That is a winner.
What does it take to really truly be a champion? Well, it takes more than excuses. It takes more than just giving yourself a pass. There are only so many champions in the world. And true champions understand what dedication and hard work really is. True champions understand if you're gonna be a lion, you got to know what it means to go through the jungle. You can't pretend or fake it just to make it, to be a champion. When everybody else is sleeping, the champion is the one that wakes up. The champion gets up before the sun comes up. The champion is the one that never lets the sun catch them sleeping. There will become a time when you have to realize that you got to put in the work, and you got to understand that if you're gonna do it, you better do it with the right attitude. Because attitude is what's gonna take to get you to the level that you need to be and beyond it. Champions don't just come overnight. Champions have to grow. Champions have to work. Champions have to dig. Champions have to believe. Champions don't have time to wait around for something to happen on its own. Being a champion takes work, grit, and understanding that if you're trying to be better than the opponent, you got to work a little bit harder than the person that you're up against.
You used to dream, my friend, when did you stop? You should have hope, my friend, when did you stop? I came by today to give you a little boost. I came by today to reach out a hand as a friend and pull you up. Sometimes when you're down, you need the hand of a friend to pull you up. I'm not coming here to put you down. I'm coming here to build you up, because all you need is a little nudge. I know how you've been wired. I know how you've been created. I know you've been sucker punched. I've been sucker punched too, but get up! Down, but not out. Down, but not out. Here's the definition of down. Downward, going in a direction, downward, being at a low position or on the ground, floor or bottom. Here's the good news about being down. You are already on a solid foundation. If you can look up, you can get up. You are down, but not out. How long will you be down, my friend? It's a temporary condition. It's up to you how long it lasts. It doesn't have to be a life sentence. Being on the bottom is temporary. Down but not defeated. Down but not out. You feel sorry for yourself here, and you dwell on it here, but do you like it here? If you like the bottom, I can't help you. If you hate the bottom, we can work. If you hate the bottom, I got you. Because if you got you there, you can get you to the top. It takes time to get to the bottom. In other words, it's a process. Even falling is a process. It's not instant. Failing is a process, and so is success. Sailing is a process. Failing is a process, and so is success. In fact, failure does not happen overnight. It takes time to fail. But success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to be successful.
Can I ask you the question? When you were down, did you get back up? The same way you get to the bottom is the same way you get to the top. Constant activity. Constant activity will get you to the top, and constant activity will get you to the bottom. Doing nothing is an activity. Being lazy is an activity. To sit on the couch is an activity. To not want to work is an activity. In fact, you spend time trying to get out of work instead of finding work. You try to get out of work instead of finding work. Here's the truth. To get to the top requires consistency. Getting to the bottom does too. Getting to the top requires consistency. Getting to the bottom does too. I have never seen a hard-working person on the bottom. I have never seen a hard-working person on the bottom. Your condition is temporary. Only you can make it permanent. Only you can change the momentum. At any moment you can shift. At any moment you can change direction. You gotta create habits to get a harvest. But if you don't like your harvest, you gotta change the seed. If you don't like your harvest, you gotta change the seed. On a daily basis, what kind of seeds are you planting? Can I ask you a question? What are you working on right now? Are you working your way to the bottom, or are you working your way to the top? Either way, you're gonna get a harvest, my friend. We can't stop the harvest. All we can do is control what kind of harvest we get. Are you working on a successful harvest? Are you working on a harvest of failure? I mean, every day you're working on something. It's one thing to be down. It's another thing to be out. We hear the term all the time, down and out. Those are two different things. I'm not worried about you being down. I've been down myself. I'm not worried about you being down. You've been down before. We all been down. It's nothing new. But that out is what I worry about. Out means you gave up. Out means you lost hope. It's okay to be down, my friend. It happens to all of us, but it's not okay to be out. Don't you ever give yourself permission to be out. You may be down, but you're never out. You got to start talking to yourself. The best way to motivate you is you got to start talking to yourself. Repeat these words after me. No one can stop me but me. No one can stop me but me. Here's the truth. No one can stop you but you. You need to talk to yourself. You need to encourage yourself. You need to strengthen yourself. Start waiting for other people. Stop waiting for other people. And you start encouraging you and saying to yourself, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. I'm down right now, but I'm not out. My condition is temporary. Only I can make it permanent. Don't you ever confuse the temporary with permanent. Every car has a spare tire. And every now and then you got to use it, but it's not designed for long-term use. A spare tire is temporary. Do you feel like you're on a spare tire right now? I get it, but we got to take that spare tire off and we got to get you something permanent. We got to get you some support. We got to get you some encouragement. We got to get something that can handle the load. Take that spare tire off. Take that discouragement off. Take that depression off. Take that fear off. It's going to be temporary, but we can't make it permanent. It's going to be temporary, but we can't make it permanent. You weren't designed to be down, my friend. You weren't designed to be down long. Open up your mouth and talk to yourself. Open up your mouth and talk to you. Open up your mouth and motivate you. Say it out loud. I may be down, but I'm not out. As long as there's breath in my body, I'm not out. Get up right now and move around. Get up right now and get your body moving. Get up right now and go for a walk and look at the birds and the trees and the dirt and the grass and the moon and the sun. Life keeps moving. Life keeps happening. Only you stood still, and that's how you get down. We need some activity. Activity will get you to the top, and activity will get you to the bottom. What kind of activity are you working on? What kind of harvest are you prepared for? Move around and get your mind moving. Move around and get your imagination moving.
will make it permanent. You will love again. You will thrive again. You will smile again if you give yourself permission. You will win again if you give yourself permission. You will breathe again if you give yourself permission. You will hope again if you give yourself permission. You will dream again if you only give yourself permission. You know what down feels like. But I want to encourage you to be stronger. And you tell people I used to be down, but not anymore. Now I'm wiser. My heart is healing, I'm better for it. It might have hurt, but now I know what love is. I know what it hurts. I know what success is. All I got to do is mount up once again, and I won't be denied this time. You can get motivated, my friend. But you got to learn how to motivate yourself. If you live long enough, I guarantee you one thing about life, you're going to have some ups. You're going to have some downs too. It's called life. It's okay to be down, my friend, but it's never okay to be out. Your condition is temporary. Only you can make it permanent. Down, but not out. Down, but not out. You might be down, but you're never out. Your condition is temporary and only you can make it permanent. I want you to make the declaration right now. I want you to make the announcement right now. I'm back. I don't care if you got to walk around your house and just say, I'm back. Call all your friends and say, I was down, but I'm back. Let everybody know I'm down. I was down. Let everybody know, oh, I was down. You saw me, but I'm back. Here I come. Let everyone who knows you, I'm back. I didn't give myself permission to be out. I took a break. But now I'm back. I'm up. But now I'm back. I'm ready to attack. And now I'm up. And I'm ready to be on top.